Good morning. It is Sunday morning, a little after 4 o'clock. And this is the video that everybody's been waiting for. I've been promising to make jerky for how long now? That's what we're going to do today. Now we've got a lot to do. We're going to make jerky. Going to can up some meat that was in the freezer. Some venison. Not going to spend a lot of time on that. There's 10,000 million canning videos of how to can meat. I'll show you how I'm doing as I go along. Just cut it up, pack it in jars, and there you go. The reason I'm doing all this, cleaning out the freezer, getting ready for the new season. And I had a little more meat than I thought I had, but that's okay. That just means more jerky. So it's going to be a long video. I hope you enjoy it. And let's get started. Alright, we're going to start on the canning first. Got my big cutting board out. This is some small individual packs of steak and little roast and stew meat. It's already been trimmed. I trimmed it all when I packed it up start the first time. And all you want to do is cube it up just like you would any meat. Little chunks like that, about like that. Don't want them too big. Make us a pile over here. Still a little bit frozen, which is good. Makes it easier to cut. There's a little bit right there. You don't really want much of this in here. Maybe you can see that. Silver skin and that fat. Well, that whole piece, we'll just do something with it later. A lot of people say they don't like venison, and I've heard people say because it sticks to the roof of their mouth. And what that is a big chunk of this fat, just like tallow. It's not like beef fat. You know, beef fat will cook down and melt. This won't. You just chunk it up like that. And so on and so forth. You see, I'm using my old faithful. I'll use that one, and I'll use my old hickory. This is the one I think I showed before. Was a wedding present the wife and I for my grandfather. Almost 34 years ago. Just another few weeks it'll be 34 years, or 35 years, something like that. Alright, be back when I get ready to pack it in the jars, and I'll show you what I do. Alright, we got a pretty good pile started there. I'm going to go ahead and pack up a couple jars before I go any further with it. We're going to do one, and I'll show you the way I do it, the way I like it. And you look at these pretty jalapenos. Now, believe it or not, I picked these off of my plants yesterday. See that in there? Whole big can full. Even though it's got a little cold, we still haven't got a frost. And believe it or not, the plants are still blooming. There's little tiny peppers still coming. See what I'm doing here? This is where I need a camera person. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this pepper right down the middle. I can do it without making a mess. Take the seeds out of it, most of the seeds. Put it right down in there. And that's enough jalapeno for me. Now you can put as much as you like if you like more. If you can get this where you live, this is good stuff. My wife's been using this for years. It's what her mother used for chili. And just a little bit goes a long way. And then we're just going to take the meat. And there's a little bit of tiny bits here and there, a little silver skin and fat, but we'll just have to live with that. Now meat shrinks a good bit when you can it. So I pack it in there real tight. And these are quart jars. Let me push that out and get that air out of there. And we'll take a wooden spoon. I should use the handle in. Push down around. That's just regular old Canon 101. It's like you do everything else. Now, some people use kosher salt. People use plain salt, Canon salt. Of course, being from the Gulf Coast, we use sea salt. Grinder. Same thing with the salt, don't overdo it. My grandfather told me stories when he was a little boy, back in the early 1900s. They lived a couple counties east of here, and they would load up the wagon in the wash pots and go to the Gulf, fill those wash pots and boil it. Boil the water off, and that's where they got their salt, which was basically sea salt, same thing. Now, I'm sure this don't come from around here. Probably comes from China, you know how that is. Anyway, that's the way we're going to can it. Now I'll get the rest of these packed up. We'll put them in the canner, and then we'll move on to our jerky making. Alright, in the canner it goes. We got 5 quarts. That's 5 good solid meals. And the reason I'm such a big fan of canned meat, I even buy canned meat, spam and roast beef and stuff like that. The reason I'm such a fan of it is you don't have to have refrigeration. If something happens and there's no power, you still got meat. Fully cooked, eat it right out of the jar. I'm using my big canner with a gauge on it. And we're going to get it to 10 pounds of pressure and cook it for 90 minutes, hour and a half. And make you dizzy turning around like that. That was all of that. Now I'm going to clean up my cutting board, and we'll get to the fun part of slicing jerky. Now to the fun part. And this meat is basically untrimmed, which is fine for the jerky. All you want to do is just slice it off as thick or thin as you like it. Not real thick. It'll take it a lot longer to smoke. And we're going to cook this in the smoker outside with a wood fire. And we'll talk about jerky just for a second, and I'll tell you some more about the way I see it. Jerky is actually, all it is just dried meat. You see a lot of people will make it and call it jerky, which I don't call it jerky. They'll soak it in, I've seen it soaked in Coca-Cola, root beer, loaded down so heavy with spices that it covers up the taste of the meat. You don't know what you're eating, in my opinion. Or in a dehydrator, you can do it that way, but it's not the same to me. Real traditional jerky is just that, jerky. It's smoked meat, dried out. Eat it like that, or you can put it, rehydrate it, cook it in soup, stews, make broth. It's just a way of storing it, that's all it is. Okay. And this is the meat that I had left that Cousin Rodney brought me when his freezer went out last year. Thank you, sir. I've got a few pieces cut because I don't want this to run so awful long. But I'm going to show you how I put it, how I do the seasoning. So we can get some of this out of the way. And moving, you can see that. Now the only season I use is salt and pepper. Put some down on the foil. I like cracked pepper. Not too much, so get it too hot, the little kids can't eat it. Stack it on there. Now that's going to pick up just enough of the salt and pepper on the bottom. When I get that covered flat, I'm going to get it all covered, and I'll go back. A little bit more salt. A little bit more pepper. When I get it covered, I'll just keep slicing and keep stacking it, stacking it, stacking it. Because the next layer, excuse me, the next layer will pick up a little bit of the salt and pepper there, so it won't be so much on it. Okay, so I'm going to keep on slicing meat, and the next thing you'll see probably will be, it's just about daylight now, so I'll go out and get a fire going and show you all that. I just want to show you how pretty that is. Now I didn't mean to say on the spice thing, if you like all that kind of stuff on it, that's perfectly fine. It's whatever you want. Everybody likes things like they like them. But I like to stay more of the traditional type way of doing things. It's just me. A lot of people think I'm crazy, and I am crazy, but that's beside the point. And the little bit of silver skin and fat that's in the jerky, I'm not too concerned about it, because it's supposed to be good and chewy anyway. We'll just keep on going. Got one more piece or two more pieces in the sink, and we'll head out and build a fire here in a little bit. One more thing before I cut these, before we go outside. This piece of meat right here, this was in a separate package. This is actually off a deer that I killed. This is the leg meat on the lower leg, the tendons. Most people will throw that away, and you're throwing away a good piece of meat for jerky, or to can. If you can it, it'll tender up. Now it's just as tough as it can be if you try to fry it and cook it, but use it for jerky, or put it in the crock pot, slow cooker, which are all the little pieces that I can't use for jerky. They're over in the slow cooker. But that tendon meat, don't throw it away. Use it. Don't throw anything away. Especially if you're a hunter, you kill that animal, you eat that animal. That's the way I was taught. Every bit that you can. We have fire. Most of the hard work is done, except feeding the fire. Now I showed the smoker on the outdoor kitchen. I don't think I've shown it making anything. Maybe I did. Seems like I made a video of smoking some fish one time. I don't remember. Letting it smoke a little bit more before I put it in there, run the critters out. Brushed it out real good. You live around here, this part of the country, anything that's outside is going to have bugs in it. Nothing you can do about it. Spiders. Some of my northern friends might have heard them called palmetto bugs. Big old roachy bugs is what they are. Alright, let me put this down here, and I'll show you how I'm going to put it on the racks. And we'll put it in the smoker. Close this door back. Alright, there's our great big pan of meat. And I would guess that's probably 15, maybe 20 pounds. But when we get done, it won't weigh a third of that. Now these racks here are cookie drying racks I found at the dollar store a couple years ago. They come in a little thing that's, they stack 3 on top of each other. I just took them apart. Let me see. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, we got it. I could have did this in the house, but there's still a good bit of blood coming out of this meat. I already made enough of a mess in there, so we'll do it out here on top of the fire pit. About 30 more minutes on the canned meat. When that comes out, we'll take a look at that. That's what we're going to do. We've got one rack full. You put them on racks or wire, whatever you use. I've seen some people use chicken wire, galvanized wire. I don't like it. I don't like the galvanized part of it. Maybe I'm allergic to it, I don't know. But I'll put it in here and show you what it looks like. They'll stack 2 on each one all the way to the top. Then once they're all in there, it'll be, now this is an all-day project. It'll be
Probably after dark. 7 or 8 o'clock before it gets done. Because we're not going for heat. The smoke is actually going to dry it. If we don't want it cooked, we want it dried. Some of that last piece I cut, isn't that pretty? Yes, I cut my finger. What I try to do when I make a big load like this, try to vacuum seal it and store it. But I hadn't told my kids that I was going to make this today. They live pretty close. And I guarantee you here in the next hour or two, they will smell the smoker going. And either the phone will ring or they'll be over here. So that makes it hard to store it as they eat it up. And I'm going to do one more and show you how they stack up in there. But I will save enough to take some up to the hunting camp this coming weekend. They make jerky too, but mine's better. You hear that noise? That's my daughter's bedroom window in the corner of the house, and why she has the air conditioner on, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to go in there and I went there and confiscate her paycheck for burning up all that electricity. I have to wipe my hands off. And we'll take one more look. Let's see if you can see that. See those stacked like that. And I'm using pecan wood. I started it with charcoal, and I got so much going at one time around here this morning. And I'll just keep laying pieces on there as the day goes on. Okay, we'll go in here in a few minutes and take a look at the canned meat. Alright, one more look. We got a full load. Could actually put 4 more racks, but that's all the racks I have. I'll have to get some more of those at the dollar store. Alright, that's it for now. I may go ahead and post this after we look at the meat, and then post a part 2 tonight. I think I'll do that so it won't be so long that way. Alright, I'm going to stoke the fire and we'll go inside and look at the meat. Fa la 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 la. Why do we have that little tiny Christmas tree this year? I don't know. We've never had one like that. Let's see. Oh, it's too dark, I can't see. I'm trying to see if there's something here with my name on it. Nope. Well, it's still early. There's hope yet. Alright, it's going to be the end of part 1. It's almost time to take the canned meat out, but it's going to be at least an hour before I can get it out of the canner for it to cool down and all that. So we'll start off part 2 with that later tonight. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. Dang, I wished I had a present under there.